What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, and it's no secret that Overwatch is in a pretty rough state right now. Specifically, the state of ranked and the meta are two things that definitely need a lot of changing and improvement, but with Season 3 just on the way, we know that there's a lot of things coming, and we could speculate on even more things coming as well. So let's break it all down and answer the question ultimately, will Season 3 save Overwatch 2? But do me a huge solid and smash that like and subscribe because we're incredibly close to 50,000 subscribers. And if you want private coaching, links will be in the description down below. Now, one actually under the radar problem that is happening a lot with Overwatch 2 is the ultimate change, where you can keep up to 30% of your ultimate charge swapping heroes. And SVB stated why this is super problematic, and the more I grinded, the more I realized this is 100% true. And it's basically this. If you go out and you play against a bad matchup, let's say a bad tank matchup, while you lost that first fight, you actually swap and now you're going to play the counter tank. So let's say in the first matchup, you go up against an Orisa as a hog, right? And you lose the matchup. So that Orisa gets about 30% ult charge. You get about 30% ult charge. But guess what? You're swapping to Zarya now. And you walk into that second fight as the counter to Orisa. And you win that fight. The problem is, going into that third fight, you actually have like freaking 60, almost 70% to ultimate. And if you play that fight slow, you're going to get ultimate in that next fight. So what does the opponent do? Do they swap to counter you back, or do they maintain their ult charge going to fight you in a disadvantaged tank matchup? Now, all you really need to know is that this was super freaking unfair. But basically, we got confirmation that they are actually going to be changing this. We don't know what it's going to be changing to, but we do know that it's not going to be 30% after swapping heroes anymore. And I'm definitely curious about how it's going to end up. Next off, we also got confirmation that there will be changes to competitive. A blog post came out that basically said that there will be changes to a rank system. It's going to be adapted based on player feedback, but they're not going to revert to the Overwatch 1 model. So basically, we're not going to get the same up and down, fully transparent thing that we had before with the number, but they are probably going to take the current system and just add different things to it to make it more enjoyable. Some of the things that I think most of us can agree on is that 7 wins and freaking 20 losses is just too much. Why not 7 no matter if you win or lose, or maybe 5 no matter when you win or lose, or give us some amount of information about us going up and down, because we all know how frustrating it can be playing freaking 6 games, playing 5 games, and then feeling like you have to keep grinding through games in order to get that rank change. And it's even more frustrating when you know you're not ranking up. It just creates a very frustrating experience. No one likes the climbing experience around ranked right now, and pretty much any change would be a positive one at this point. I am also a firm believer that we should have more transparency. I know not everyone likes that idea, but I would personally like a bit of transparency because that's just how just about every freaking rank system is. Like, it's okay. I can mentally take the ups and downs knowing my rank. It just helps me know where I place, and it helps me know what to do to improve. It's competitive after all. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear your opinion. How would you change the rank system, and how do you think they should change the rank system to make it just a better experience for everybody? I really want to know in the comments down below. Now let's talk about some of the hero changes that we know are coming. We know that Roadhog is actually losing his one-shot potential and then getting reworked later down the road. Just him losing his one-shot potential without getting reworked right now basically means that Roadhog is just not going to be playable or all that good. Now, for those of us who've been basically being oppressed by Hog all this time, and for the vast majority of players, I think that that's going to be overall a good thing, and you get a little break from Hog, which is going to be nice. We also know that Blizzard has said that they're going to buff Sombra in some way. We don't know if that's going to come in Season 3. Most likely is, because they announced it quite some time ago, but I'm going to hope that it's not mega buffs, just slight buffs. But let me know what buffs you would like to see on Sombra, if any, or none at all. Now, do we expect those to be the only changes in Season 3? No, there's several other characters that we imagine need to get changed along with Roadhog losing his one-shot. First off, Orisa, most likely too powerful in her current state, still can keep some amount of that power, but I think that buffing Orisa to challenge Hog, and then Hog leaving, means that Orisa does not need to be able to randomly kill people in the mid-fight. I think most people could agree with that. And then Kiriko most likely needs some nerf. I don't know exactly what that nerf is. Everyone knows that Kiriko is just far and away like one of the most powerful characters in the game right now. Mainly, I would suggest just an increase in cooldown in one or both abilities, either a cooldown increase on Suzu or a cooldown increase on teleport, either slight on both or a decent one on one of them. I don't exactly know which one is perfect, but I do think that Suzu in particular is just something that's a bit absurd. Kiriko is very hard to punish, and yeah, I think that most people could agree that Kiriko needs to be hit some way, but the fundamental aspect of the character should still stay intact, of course. Sojourn definitely needs a nerf one way or another. The one-shot capability of Sojourn now, just being better with the freaking Mercy Pocket, should just not happen. Sojourn should not be able to one-shot anyone with damage boost as well, just not possible, and changes definitely need to be made so that we can finally leave a Sojourn meta, because it seems like Sojourn hasn't been properly nerfed this entire time, and I imagine that we're going to see something a bit more heavy-handed coming to this patch, because this is a chance that that Blizzard really needs to nail. I mean, they really need to nail this. They're finally getting rid of Hog, and we're going to get rid of a Hog meta, but they need to make sure that a really annoying pocket meta also doesn't permeate and continue to exist. So Orisa and Sojourn both need to be hit, and I think that from a power level standpoint, Kiriko probably as well. And then the last thing that we might see, although this might be pushed back to way down the line, is some sort of DPS passive rework. We have certain characters that basically have gotten nerfed even harder, like Genji due to the change in the DPS passive, or we have characters that just didn't get the DPS passive at all, like Hanzo, because reload doesn't actually affect him. So we're in a weird situation where the DPS passive just doesn't work. Like, it's not really fitting every single character. And I personally think that maybe DPS should not have a passive. Like, they should just get specific passives, or maybe all the DPSs get grouped in different categories. Like, imagine 3 distinct DPS categories and they all have different passives. Or I have no idea, maybe just no freaking passive and you just balance characters properly in the DPS role. I don't exactly know the perfect solution here, but I do think that they don't have it nailed. And obviously, due to the fact that they keep changing this passive around and they have no idea how to balance the DPS role right now, it seems like this is something that they need to put their eyes on very, very specifically. Now, for my own personal opinion, I really do think that if Blizzard wants to have a positive Overwatch 2 experience, Dive needs to be the best composition. Dive needs to be the best meta. I mean, it could be a Reinhardt composition, sure, but I'm not really imagining that that could be that possible or enabled, but it's very possible to make a Dive composition with no one-shots. Like, yeah, I think that that's super possible, and I think it'd be fun. It's also difficult enough to play that it would not be the best thing to do at every single rank. So yeah, but that's just my personal opinion. Definitely let me know what changes you want to see. What meta do you want to see? How do you feel about all the changes we're getting? And are you still having fun with Overwatch? Let me know how you feel about all of that down below. Smash the like, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Thank you for coming by, and I'll see you next time.